Cats carry the coronavirus, and COVID-19 destroys male reproductive capacity. The coronavirus pandemic dominates headlines around the world, and the onslaught of fakes about COVID-19 is not that far behind. Welcome to Stop Fake, the place where we break down fakes about Ukraine and expose the outlets that generate them. So let's get to it. Chinese scientists have come to a stunning conclusion. Domestic cats can be carriers of the coronavirus. This finding is supported by research conducted by a study published on the preprint scientific studies site biorxiv.org. Horror stories of how pets can become carriers of a new coronavirus strain and pass it to humans have been actively circulated throughout the web during the last several weeks. Adding to the confusion was Ukraine's health ministry, which launched information banners featuring dogs in several Ukrainian cities, claiming that in order to avoid infection with the coronavirus, it was necessary to avoid contact with animals. Ukrainian animal rights organizations immediately responded to these fake claims using campaigns on social media, with masses of users uploading photos of their four-legged friends with the hashtag #IamNotAvirus in protest. Just as the dogs carry coronavirus scandal was subsiding, a new one erupted. Ukrainian and Russian media began circulating stories claiming that house cats were dangerous to humans because Chinese scientists found the coronavirus among 15% of house and street cats, according to an abstract published on the biorxiv website. No one ever stopped to note that the data presented had not been reviewed by anyone in the scientific community, something that is clearly stated on the biorxiv site, a site that preprints scientific studies and clearly states that all published materials are simply preliminary reports that have not been peer-reviewed and should not be regarded as conclusive or reported in the media as conclusive information. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention notes that currently a small number of pets, including dogs and cats, were infected with the coronavirus after close contact with people, and emphasizes that to date there is no evidence that pets can spread the virus to humans. The World Health Organization has pointed out that it is too early to talk about cats being intermediate hosts for coronavirus transmission, and calls on pet owners not to panic and give up their pets. Now, there have been instances in Ukraine where people have believed in fakes, claiming pets transmit the virus, and have subsequently abandoned those animals out onto the streets. To guard yourself against the coronavirus, listen to reputable medical recommendations, practice social distancing while walking your pets outside, and regularly wash your pet's paws and toys, including food bowls and beds. At the beginning of April, several sites reported that men infected with COVID-19 are in danger of losing their reproductive capacity. The source for these claims is an unverified scientific article on a website that is a preprint server for health sciences, suggesting that the coronavirus might harm male fertility. After the article was published on the medrxiv.org site, the Hubei province republished it on its official government website. Several hours later, however, Chinese officials removed it from the site altogether. Although the original article states that the coronavirus results in hormonal changes in males, it also clearly explains that, quote, there is no clinical evidence about whether coronavirus can affect male gonadal function so far. Using republished versions rather than the original article, all sorts of distorted interpretations of the article began making the rounds on various sites, with claims such as coronavirus infections deprive the carrier of the ability to reproduce, and even after recovery from COVID-19, male reproductive functions are compromised. The medrxiv site, which published the original abstract, distributes complete but unpublished manuscripts in the areas of medicine, clinical research, and related health sciences for the purpose of sharing results before peer review. Before the body of the article, there's a very clear and very visible disclaimer in bold typeface stating this article is a preprint and has not been peer-reviewed. It reports new medical research that has yet to be evaluated and so should not be used to guide clinical practice. In this particular study, a group of doctors from Wuhan compared the sex-related hormones between 81 reproductive aged men who were infected with the coronavirus and conclude that compared to healthy males, their hormone count has changed significantly. They advise men who have recovered from COVID-19 to seek further medical advice about their fertility. The MedRxiv site calls on journalists to report on medical research and use information presented on the site to keep in mind that studies published have not been peer-reviewed and have yet to be evaluated by the medical community. The information presented may be erroneous, MedRxiv states clearly and unequivocally. In a Newsweek article, Professor Alan Pacey, a leading expert in male fertility at the University of Sheffield in the UK, pointed out that the article is a discussion paper which has not been peer-reviewed and is highly theoretical. He said, quote, "At present, it is somewhat premature to conclude from this study that COVID-19 will definitely affect male fertility, but it is useful that the authors have raised this concern so that researchers can, in due course, take a look at the fertility of those who were infected by COVID-19. An Iranian member of parliament made a stunning pronouncement last week, claiming that the Iranian army was right to shoot down a Ukrainian civilian airliner, flight PS-752, in January, as the flight was being controlled by the United States. Hassan Nourouzi said no one would be arrested or held accountable for the shooting down of the passenger jet. Iranian officials moved to refute Nourouzi's pronouncements and open a criminal case against the politician for spreading lies and disturbing the peace. Several Russian media picked up on Nourouzi's claims and eagerly disseminated his version of events, that the plane was not being guided by the Tehran airport control tower, but was under the control of America. The plane was in Israel a week before it was shot down, and while there, its security system was hacked, Nourouzi claims. Soon after Nourouzi's claims appeared in the news, the Iranian Armed Forces Judicial Organization disputed his claims, and a criminal case was opened against him for spreading lies and creating public concern. Speaking to the Iranian news agency ISNA, the head of the Iranian Armed Forces Judiciary, Hojatoslam Bahrami, said Nourouzi's claim is contrary to the truth and that extensive investigations have been carried out, subpoenas have been issued, and one person has been taken into custody. Bahrami also pointed out that the interview with Nourouzi reflected the MP's personal view and showed that he was not familiar with the details of the case. Such statements disrupt investigations and cause public concern, he said. Ukraine immediately reacted to Nourouzi's statement, sending a diplomatic note to Iran asking for clarification. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said Ukraine would not allow Iran to escape responsibility for this tragedy. Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Vadim Prystaiko echoed Kuleba and said Ukraine is awaiting an immediate explanation from Iran regarding Nourouzi's claim. Russian media propagated several versions of what brought down the Ukrainian airliner, and the leading narrative was that the U.S. shot down the plane in order to start a war in the Middle East. That's it for this week. You can find much more dissected disinformation on our website, StopFake.org. Be vigilant, stay safe, look out for fakes. Don't listen to Russian disinformation, because washing your hands and social distancing will in fact protect you from the coronavirus. And remember, if you spot any disinformation about Ukraine, forward it to us for a truth autopsy. I'm Marko Suprun, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.